Hey, what's going on? This is another episode of the Reporter Vlog for February 17th, 2025 on a Monday. Uh, I'm going to try to do a double header today, and we will be determined determined to do a double header today. Um, Pretty much back stories under the title Trump, just Trump being Trump. uh, First story, this proves a fact pretty much. But let me get this started. I'm off my commentary uh, after each story in this double header. Um, okay, first one from the Post. The White House told AP to call the body of water Gulf of America. They will be of the Gulf of America, or they will be banned from an event at the Oval Office. Let me read that again. The White House told the AP to call the body of water Gulf of America, or they will be banned from an event in the Oval Office. Trump punishes the Associated Press for not calling the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. Can't make it up, like they say. Can't make this stuff up. Right. Like I said, it's brought to you by the Huffington Post. Uh, uh, Publisher being Paige Skinner, published on February 11th, 2025 at 6:58 p.m. Associated Press. All right, let's get right into it. Associated Press was shut out of the executive order signing Tuesday because of their refusal to call the body of water to the west of Florida the Gulf of Mexico of America. It is alarming that the Trump administration would punish AP for the independent journalism. Julie Pace, the executive editor of the AP, said in a statement, limiting our access to the Oval Office based on the content of AP's speech not only severely impedes the public access to independent news, it plainly violates the First Amendment. White House informed AP on Tuesday that if the news agency did not start referring to the Gulf of America as Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America, they would be banned from accessing event to an event in the Oval Office. The White House did not immediately respond to the request for comment. AP said they would continue to refer to the body of water as the Gulf of Mexico. Good for you. While also acknowledging the new name Trump has chosen for it. However, after Trump signed an executive order to revert to the name of North America's tallest peak, the Denali, in Alaska to Mount McKinley, AP followed along because Mount McKinley is only in the United States, and Trump has the authority. Uh, and Trump has the authority to change federal geographical names within the country. Whew. Well, basically, to put some commentary on this one, he dealing with a with a madman, a madman, a dictator, however you want to go about calling them. He is crazy. He really is. He's gonna ban the press from coming in from an Oval Office event is because they wouldn't agree with you to agree uh, with you as far as a lie. But this is that's proof positive that the whole MAGA movement is a cult. Is all there is to it. It cannot be denied. Cannot be can't spray perfume on it to make it smell good. Its group is a straight up cult. It really is. Anytime you get on somebody, anytime you want to force somebody to think that think something is and when it's not, like in this case, calling something that you know that it isn't what it is. You're a cult. You are a cult leader, and you are head of a cult. But this is that's one of the many chapters of the craziness of this guy. One of the many chapters. And, I just don't see. I just don't see it. I really don't. You look at especially this chapter, calling a body of water that is not just because you got the power to do it. And going to get mad at everybody, anybody that thinks that doesn't think like you. Everybody that has common sense is crazy, but but you. Every- Everybody that thinks differently is crazy, but you. They were pretty much the main culprit in the room. But this is some crazy stuff. It really is. Signing executive orders to change bodies of water and bodies of water. Chad is executive orders to change bodies of water that that's that's not in your power to change. It really isn't. All because you want America to spread even bigger. This is what dictators do. They get their first taste of power and they want more of it. This is what it's all about. He ain't doing this for America. He's all about himself. Trump's all about Trump. Trump's all about it. It may seem like he's doing this for America, but Trump's all about Trump. And that's why sometimes your presentation can stink. It really does. That you willing to make people believe in something that isn't there. It's because you said it's there. And to kick the press out on top of that, which violates, like they said in the article, I think Amendment 1. That's because they wouldn't believe a lie along with you. Yeah, that's because they wouldn't believe a lie along with you. Rest of the world, that's the reason I said, well, the rest of the world got more sense than he could ever have. Man, what's the big idea anyway? What's the big deal? To show how big you are. That's what it's all about. It's a ego. It's to feed his ego under the cover of doing it for America. Everything he does is to feed his ego. Yeah, everything Trump does is to feed his ego. Yep. Here it is. Go back to that point of the press getting kicked out just because they wouldn't agree with Trump. Here's a paragraph to go back to that point. It is alarming that Trump's administration would punish AP for its independent journalism, Julie Pace said. The executive editor of AP said in a statement, limiting our access to the Oval Office based on content of AP's speech not only severely impedes the public access to independent news, it plainly violates the First Amendment. You got the guy in there that's violating the Constitution. Something that the United States, I guess, used to stand on. You got people that are backing them. Oh man, but they the one that voted for him. Yeah, gotta go back to that point. They don't want to let the door open and to let them in. And these are the results. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next story. To the next story. To the next story. To the next story. Yeah, baby. Okay, let's go on to the next story. Okay, also from the Huffington Post, Trump promised to lower grocery prices, just took another big hit. Look like I might be skipping the story. Okay. Okay, this is a okay. This is also from Huffington Post, with the publisher being Gramey Demiak. Published on February 12th, 2025, at 11:08 a.m. President Trump's election promise to bring down the cost of living took a bruising Wednesday as figures showed that U.S. inflation surged last month. The customer price index increased 3% in January from a year ago, according to the report from the Labor Department, which showed an increase of 2.9% in the previous month. It has risen from the 3.5 year low of 2.4 in September. Cost of groceries, gas, and the used cars rose with the cost of eggs spiraling. With farmers hit by the avian flu epidemic, egg prices leaped from 15% to the biggest month increase since June of 2015. Egg prices are now 53% from last year. The unexpectedly hot inflation increases blow to a hole in one of Trump's biggest pledges in the campaign trail. We will end inflation to make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down, he said in a rally in September. There's too much groceries, cars, and anything. We're going to get the prices down. Yet shortly after the election, Trump started to scale back his ambitions. It's hard to bring down once they're up, he said in a November interview with Time. It's very hard. So after the figures were released, Trump went into blame mode. He suggested that former President Joe Biden was the reason for the spike, not his own economic policies, which economics have warned risk pushing costs higher. Biden inflation up, he wrote on Truth Social. His inflation figures mean an imminent interest rate cut for the Federal Reserve is unlikely. Early Wednesday, Trump called the rates to come down. Rates to come down, claiming cheaper money would go hand in hand with his tariff agenda. Interest rates should be lowered, something which uh, interest rates should be lowered, something which would go hand in hand with upcoming tariffs. He wrote, "It's a rock and roll, America." Federal Reserve ignored Trump's previous demand to cut rates, holding the benchmark rate for 2 weeks. Whew. Basically, but what do you think about this one? Do you think it's because of him, Mister blame everybody else, Trump? Trump blaming Biden for inflation? Or do you think it's because of the flu that's the reason why the egg prices are so sky high? But I think it's because of him. Personally, I think it's because of him. But I know everybody doesn't have the same opinion. But personally, I think it's because of him. Because he's doing other stuff more, pretty much. Other than pretty much ignoring his promises that he wasn't about ready to keep, because this is that's pretty uh, while he's doing that, go back to that point, this problem is still there, and this problem is still getting worse. Uh, and while and I really don't.